Leo was the quietest kid at school, the one nobody noticed until the day $5,000 vanished from the prom fund, and suddenly everyone was calling my son a thief. He was the prom committee treasurer, good with numbers, trusted by teachers, invisible to everyone else. When that money disappeared from the locked office on a Monday morning, Leo was the obvious suspect. He had the key. He'd counted the cash on Friday afternoon. The principal suspended him on the spot and threatened criminal charges. I watched my son crumble. The messages online were vicious. Kids who'd never spoken to him suddenly had opinions about what kind of person he was. They called him names I won't repeat. His phone buzzed constantly with accusations and threats. He stopped eating, stopped sleeping, just sat in his room staring at the wall, this hollow look in his eyes that broke my heart into pieces. But I knew Leo. This was a kid who turned found money into the office, who'd once driven across town to return a wallet with $20 in it. He didn't take it. The school wanted a quick answer, and Leo was convenient. Security cameras conveniently broken that weekend. Investigation closed before it started. Case solved. They scheduled an expulsion hearing for the following week. Except I started noticing things. Coach Davis, the beloved football coach, was suddenly wearing a designer watch, a Rolex that probably cost more than his annual salary. Brand new motorcycle in the staff lot, gleaming chrome and leather. Always complained about being underpaid, about his mortgage, about his bills. But now he was spending like he'd won the lottery. I couldn't just accuse him. Not without proof. The school had already made up their minds once, and they'd chosen wrong. I needed something concrete, something undeniable. So I organized a bake sale to raise money for Leo's legal defense. Made sure everyone knew about it, especially the staff. Posted flyers everywhere. Sent emails. Made announcements. Cash donations welcome. I emphasized. Every little bit helps. The night before, I dusted the inside of our cash box with invisible fluorescent powder from Spy Shop downtown. The kind that only shows up under blacklight and gets all over your hands. Sticks there for days, impossible to wash off completely. I felt like I was in a movie, but this was my son's life. The sale was packed. Parents, students, even some teachers showed up. We raised almost $300 in a few hours. At the end, I made a show of counting the money loudly, announcing the total to everyone nearby. Then I pretended to forget my keys in my car, leaving the box unattended on the table for just a minute. Long enough. When I came back, the box looked untouched, but I knew better. I could feel it. The next morning, they called an assembly to officially expel Leo. The whole school crammed into the auditorium. He stood on that stage looking destroyed, shoulders hunched, eyes red from crying. The principal prepared his speech about integrity and consequences. Parents whispered. Students filmed on their phones. That's when I walked up from the audience and took the microphone. Leo isn't the thief, I said, my voice echoing through the speakers. But the real thief is in this room right now. The principal tried to remove me, his face turning red with anger. Security started moving toward the stage, but I told him I had proof. Real proof. He probably just wanted to shut me up and avoid a scene, but he agreed to let me continue. I asked him to turn off the lights. Confused murmurs rippled through the crowd. Then I pulled out my black light and walked straight down the center aisle to Coach Davis in the front row. The beloved coach, the one everyone trusted. I shined it on his hands. They glowed bright green. Both palms, all his fingers. Unmistakable evidence. The entire auditorium gasped. Someone screamed. Students started shouting. He'd taken money from our bake sale, just like he'd stolen the prom fund. Turns out he had a massive gambling debt, over $50,000, and thought quiet. Nerdy Leo was the perfect person to frame. Someone nobody would defend. He confessed right there, breaking down in front of everyone. Leo's name was cleared. Coach Davis was arrested that same day, let out in handcuffs while students recorded everything. My son learned something important that week. Sometimes the quietest person in the room has the loudest defender. And I learned that a mother's instinct is worth trusting, always.